Hi, it's Dina Rich from Keller Williams Realty on South Padre Island, and I'm here with the 2024 first quarter market data. Some of you may know that when I'm not busy selling real estate, I'm an eclipse chaser. I've seen 6 eclipses in the last 7 years. I hope that many of you were able to enjoy the solar eclipse that crossed the United States on April 8th. I went to the hill country in central Texas to be in the path of totality, and while it was a little bit cloudy, I still thoroughly enjoyed it.
And this is totality. It doesn't matter that it's cloudy. It's not supposed to look like this at 2:30 in the afternoon. This is awesome.
Wow, I look a little bit crazy there. But I'll tell you what, it never gets old. For me, seeing a solar eclipse is like eating potato chips. I can't stop at just one. So, what does a solar eclipse have to do with market data? Well, let's take a look. In recent months, our hot real estate market has been eclipsed. For a while, we were going along pleasantly in a seller's market. Sellers were happy, and buyers were able to take advantage of historically low interest rates. But then a shadow came over it all in the form of higher interest rates, and the market began to change. So, what's it going to take to have happy buyers and happy sellers again? About the only thing I love just as much as eclipses is analyzing statistics. So, let's take a look at the numbers. This data is just for South Padre Island because it provides the largest amount of data and therefore gives a more accurate picture of the current market conditions. But similar trends are happening in Port Isabel, Laguna Vista, and Bayview. At the end of March in 2024, we are sitting at a 10.5 month inventory. That's an increase of almost 2 months of inventory in 1 month's time. If we look at the data by quarter, we're almost back to pre-pandemic levels. But thankfully, we are still far from the 20 months of inventory we had in 2015. Now let's look at the number of active listings. We're currently at 285 active listings on the island. This is a 50 property increase since last month, and it's a larger month-to-month increase than we've seen in a while. Please note that the jump from December 2023 to January 2024 is due to listings expiring at the end of the year and some of them relisting in January. We are not quite up to pre-pandemic levels when you look at the data quarter by quarter, and we're still very far from the more than 500 listings we had in 2015. It's interesting to compare the current 10 months of inventory to the last time we were at this level, which was back in mid-2020. And the last time we had 285 or so listings available was also in mid-2020. However, the last time inventory was at this level, the universe was handing buyers a gift in the form of lower prices and lower interest rates compared to today. The inventory was high, but the market was active. At the present time, I'm working with fewer buyers than I've ever worked with in my entire real estate career. There's a funny phenomenon that happens during a total solar eclipse. Nature gets confused. Birds and insects start to do their sunrise and sunset routines. You hear a lot of crickets chirping. And crickets chirping is exactly what I'm hearing from buyers right now. Here in 2024, buyers are now facing high prices and high interest rates. There's nothing we can do about the interest rates, but we can evaluate our pricing. We may remember back in elementary school when we learned the concept of supply and demand. And common sense tells us that when supply is limited, prices go up. And that's what we experienced in 2021 and 22. But the inverse of that should be true. Now that supply is increasing and demand is lower, we should see a drop in prices. But we're not. Blue indicates the average list price in mid-2020, the last time we had similar inventory numbers, and orange represents the current average list price. And the difference is obvious. Right now, prices seem to defy the law of supply and demand, and perhaps the law of gravity as well. I'm not saying that we need to roll prices back to pre-pandemic levels, and I'm not saying that the market is crashing. Now, there is not a direct correlation between months of inventory or number of listings and a specific list price. 10 months of inventory does not mean that buyers should now expect to pay $180,000 for a 2-bedroom beachside condo in 2024. So, what will it take to make buyers and sellers happy? Obviously, lower interest rates and lower prices will make buyers happy, but that won't be welcome news to sellers. However, I'm starting to see a trend of buyers making offers significantly below list price and continually getting rejected. I think it's time for sellers to understand a buyer's point of view and realize that increasing inventory and high prices are not a good combination for anyone. We're approaching peak season, so let's hope that the planets align for both buyers and sellers in the coming months.